side. Well, all is colour at the moment here at Karindai. Right now, going across the ground, we have the mobile grasshopper. Lots of promotion on here at the moment before the players come out on the field. It's a Volkswagen car, I believe, done up as a grasshopper. It's doing a lap of the ground at the moment. There's Scone supporters and Karindai supporters, very young ones too, all over the field. It's going to be probably a minute or two before the first grade game takes place. So we'll take this opportunity to grab these messages back from the studio.
Now I'm going to sing about the drink named Hunter Valley. Dancing round, I'll yell about the drink name.
Yeah, I think it's at the Workers' Club in Muswellbrook. I think it was Bernie Callan that rang me the other night and has asked if we would skip that over, but the Rams certainly want a crowd at their cabaret. The Quirindi side have just moved out onto the sideline, led out by Ken Orr. They have new Guernseys, and they do look a picture. Well, they look certainly look good enough. They've got to play good enough to win the game, of course. Ken Orr has led them out. They're standing on the sideline. Each player has 2 footballs, which they're going to kick into the crowd. And here that's the loud cheering for the Scone side, which is now coming down the aisleway, and they're led out by the touch judge, Reg Pittman, Greg Jones the captain. I can see Peter Ilfield and Ray Moss. There's Kev McGree, still looking pleased from his reserve grade win. Dale Puxty, and then there's the personality player of the side, Bob Mills. As usual, Bobby Mills hasn't been a tackle made yet. Bob Mills has his socks right down round his ankles, and that's the typical style of play for Bob Mills. He's giving the thumbs up to me at the moment. Bob Mills with his socks round the ankles. There's Garth Harrison. Now he's going to be a danger man for Scone today out in the centres, and he has to match it with the Karindai danger man, Dennis Corrigan. That's going to be a big clash in this match out in the 3-quarter line where all the action will take, all the fast action will take place, but the furious action is going to be up the middle, and there I can see Scone's trio who will be holding the banner for them. That's Kevin McGree, Peter Ilfield and Ray Moss, and that's a great front row to come up against Karindai's Will Gardner, Cole Jeffries and Gordon Sorby. It's going to be a beauty, and it should start in approximately 2 minutes. So we'll take this opportunity to take these messages from the studio.
Now I'm going to sing about the drink named Hunter Valley. Dancing round, I'll yell about the drink named Hunter Valley. Hunter Valley cordial, the best drink in this here town. Hunter Valley cordial, the best drink that's around.
Find out for yourself what it's all about. Soon you'll be dancing too. Hunter Valley cordials, made right here in the Hunter Valley, so they've got to be good.
The new range of spring shoes has just arrived at Tony's Shoes of Scone and Muswellbrook. In the range are ladies and men's fashion shoes and a great range of summer sandals for the boys and girls. Handbags are an attractive buy in the new spring and summer colours. You can buy all lay-by at Tony's Shoes of Scone and Muswellbrook. And of course, bank card is welcome. Call and see the new range of fashion shoes now at Tony's Shoes, Scone and Muswellbrook.
Well, they're the players just running onto the field individually up here at the Karindai Sports Ground. Scone going out first. Neil Clydesdale, the outside centre, just going out now. He's played all his rugby league with Scone and had 1 year of juniors, come back into first grade last year. There goes Brian Harshman, the 5'8", also an all Scone product. And Wayne Reid, the halfback, another all Scone product. This is very much an all Scone side. There goes Dale Puxty. Playing lock forward today. Dale Puxty played all his junior football with the Waratah Club in Newcastle. Bobby Mills gets a big roar from the Scone crowd as he goes out. There goes Kev McGree. There's a grasshopper out on the field, a rather large one. He's trying to put a hex on the Scone players as they go out. There goes Peter Ilfield, came to Scone this year from Maitland, and he's had a very big season. Ray Moss, the hooker, goes out. He's the North Tamworth player originally, has had the last 2 seasons of Scone. And finally out goes the captain, Greg Jones, who played his junior football up in the Mullumbimby area and has since leaving university at Armidale played with Scone. David Russell running out onto the field for Karindai. He's the fullback in this match today, and He's from Tamworth. His big brother Will now going out. He's another Tamworth boy. Richie Allen is a local, he's on the wing today. He's a local Karindai product. And the danger man in this attack today, Terry Cohen, another local Karindai boy going out playing in the centres today. And Dennis Corrigan, who formerly played down at Woy Woy and with the entrance, and played with Prince George and country seconds. Here's Gary Sampson, a very popular figure at Quirindi, the 5'8", going out onto the field. And Peter Polton, who came to Quirindi from Central Club in Newcastle, is the halfback. There goes Wayne McDonald, another all-Quirindi product going out onto the field. John Mercer, and he's a tackling demon, John Mercer. And his tackling round the rucks today is going to be very important. Will Gardner started his football with Manila. And it's very good to see here in the crowd today a few of my old mates from Manila, Ken Hatch and Max Fletcher. There goes Gordon Sorby out onto the field. And Cole Jeffries is now going out, the hooker. He came to Karindai this year from West Tamworth. Has had a big season for Karindai in the hooking position. And there goes Ken Orr. And what a popular figure Ken Orr is here at Karindai. Well, they're all on the field. And we're just about ready to go. The footballs have been thrown into the crowd. It looks as though Karindai will be defending the southern end and Scone the northern end. It'll be something like 1 minute to kick-off time. We'll have this time for a message and then on to the big game.
The Plaza Motel, the ideal place to stay in Muswellbrook. Centrally situated in Bridge Street in the heart of the shopping area. All suites are air-conditioned, have colour TV, radio and telephones. The meals at the Colonial Room are really delicious. It's the ideal place to take the family to dine or for those special functions, such as wedding receptions, birthday parties and the like. Joe and Heather Sugar are your hosts at the Plaza Motel, where free telex bookings are available to your next stopover point. Stay tonight at the Plaza Motel in Bridge Street, Muswellbrook.
If you want a new windscreen for your Ferrari, forget about Newcastle four-wheel drive at 44 Park Avenue, Adamstown. But if you need anything from freewheeling hubs to a totally new four-wheel drive unit, believe it, these guys know their business. They're exclusively four-wheel drive with a complete stock of replacement parts and accessories available to use COD. Newcastle four-wheel driver agents for Suzuki and Jeep and stock ex-Army Jeeps up to 1976. Plus they carry parts for Land Cruisers and Land Rovers. Newcastle four-wheel drive Adamstown, 049 575961, dealer 861.
It's a big day at Karindai today. We all know about the grand final. But did you know that the Karindai Spring Show is on too? At the show you can see on display the EL Down stand, featuring a range of furniture and outdoor settings that will really take your breath away. There's attractions like the Roberta three-piece lounge suite covered in gold tapestry, spick and span modular barbecues in black or white cast concrete blocks, also a trendy all-metal colonial style barbecue with white wrought iron lace trim, plus many great outdoor settings. When visiting the football, go and have a look at the EL Downs furniture at the Karindai Spring Show.
And at Karindai, the game has got underway again. It's a penalty to Karindai in the opening minutes of the match. Ken Orr, kicking for the line from about 15 metres inside his own half, has found the touch. Just over halfway in Scone's territory, so Karindai to go on the attack for the first time in this game. It'll be Cole Jeffries to take the tap. Jeffries tap, sends it on to Mercer. Mercer runs straight upfield and makes 4 or 5 metres before he's held up by Ulfield in the tackle. He'll play it back to Jeffries. On it goes to Orr. Orr dummies to Sorby. Then it gets away to Gardner. Gardner's brought down 8 metres into the Scone territory by Harsman. Played it back to McDonald. Out it goes to Polton. On to Sampson. Sampson throws the dummy, but it's not taken by Moss and Clyde Sallen. They're up on him quickly to hold him up in the tackle. Played back to Cohen. Gets it on to Polton. Polton reverses to the blind side to McDonald. And McDonald is brought down in a good tackle by Harrison. It's played back and it comes to Sampson. On goes to Orr. Out now to the centre, Terry Cohen. He's cut right through. Up to the quarter line goes Cohen. But a good tackle by Harsman, and Reed will bring him down. Played back now to Mercer. Gets it onto Orr. Out it goes now to Sorby. The big fellow running hard and straight. Makes good ground, but hanging to him round the ankles is Jones. And Puxty over the top will bring him down in the 6th tackle. So it's a scrum to pack down on the Scone quarter line in centre field.
This one began at a particularly interesting and very fast pace with Karindai away early on the attack, and both sides look particularly fit. Naturally they would be a grand final, but once again a great climax to a good season's football.
First scrum to Karindai. Sampson's gone the blind, trying to step through the Scone defence, but it's Bruce Brown that goes over the top and puts him down. Played back to Russell, gets it out to McDonald. McDonald runs straight and hard. but McGree's tackle is too good and puts him down. Karindai inside the Scone quarter now. It's come back to Orr. On it goes to Polton. Polton switches to the blind. There's plenty of defence there, and it's McGree that will drag him to the ground, right on the Scone quarter line. Polton to play the ball. Back to Mercer. Gets it out now to Orr. Orr's going to put up a big kick. It's coming down to Day, just behind his own line. Well taken by Day. Decides to run the ball out. Comes to the defence of Russell, but David Russell has brought him down in a copybook tackle 5 metres from the Scone line. Played back to Brown. Brown decides to run himself, but he's going to lose ground in the tackle of Corrigan, and Corrigan will force him back. He plays the ball now back to Moss. Moss scoops the ball out to McGree, and McGree is going to be bundled down in the tackle of Corrigan and of Sorby. Plays the ball now back to Moss. Moss decides to run himself from dummy half. Makes good ground too, almost out to the quarter line, before it's Corrigan again with the help of Jeffries who'll bring him down. It's played back now to Ilfield. Ilfield gets to Jones. Here's the big kick from Jones. Landing on halfway, coming down to Russell. David Russell taking it on the bounce. Over halfway goes Russell, steps around Clydesdale, but Puxty has him, and Puxty will put him to the ground. Plays the ball back to Will Russell. Russell decides to run himself. He's going across field. Tries to get rid of the ball. It's a loose pass, but picked up by Cowan. Gets the ball back to David Russell. Onto Polton, and Polton's barreled to the ground by Ilfield. 7 metres into Scone territory. Played back to Gardner. Gardner dummies to Sorby. Goes himself straight upfield. Makes 4 or 5 metres before he's put down by Bobby Mills. Gardner to get up and play the ball. Well, Quirindi have had all the action with this ball so far. Sorby out to Orr. On it goes to Sampson. To Corrigan, and Corrigan has spilled it on the halfway mark. Clydesdale dives on it for Scone. Clydesdale to play it back to Moss. Gets it onto Mills. Mills, in typical Farrow's fashion, goes bursting across field. He's out of one tackle. Now he straightens up Mills. A good run from Mills. He's thrown a loose one back to Puxty, and Puxty has knocked it on. So a scrum to pack down about 8 metres inside the Karindai half on this occasion. Well, that's the first occasion we've seen Bobby Mills on the go.
And particularly dangerous too on that occasion, Brian. Particularly dangerous player, and he made a lot of ground across field and then about 10 metres upfield.
Right, this
coming into it still, Brian, at this stage with both teams naturally on edge, a grand final, and we have seen a couple of drop balls, but otherwise it's a great start.
Right, Karindai half Polton to feed the ball in. It's a mix-up, this one. We can't see what's happened. Stacks on the mill, and referee Leonard is going to pack it down again. Well, there they go. There hasn't been a lot of, what would we say, hard physical contact. Certainly no illegal play in this game. This one's won by Karindai, picked up by Sampson at the back. But Sampson is immediately seized by Harshman and by Wayne Reid. He'll get up and play the ball back to Polton. Gets it onto Orr. Out it goes now to Will Russell. Moving across field into the centres. Gets it to Cowan. But Cowan's going to be bundled up by Clydesdale, who's done a lot of defending early in this match. Out it comes to Orr. Orr's kick looking for the line. It's a good one. He's put it over the top. It's bouncing towards the line. Day in pursuit, and Day can't catch it. It's gone into touch. Only about 15 metres out from the Scone line. This is clever play by the Karindai captain Orr.
Naturally, he's taken a lot into consideration, having a slight breeze, but not a great deal of breeze, but a good kick, and a very astute kick by Ken Orr, and certainly put them on the attack on those quarter line.
Right, scrum packing down. This time it's going to be Wayne Reid to feed the ball in. And then Reid's got it in. It's coming out to Scone. Picked up by Reid at the back. He decides to go himself. But McDonald's over the top to put him down. Plays the ball back to Moss. Gets it out to McGree. Here's a hard run from McGree. Straight into Sorby, though, and Sorby will put him down on the quarter line. He'll play the ball now back to Moss. Moss gets it out to Ilfield. Ilfield runs hard and straight and takes play out over the quarter line before McDonald puts him down. Played it back to Moss. Moss runs himself, makes good ground too, and he's lost the ball in the tackle. Richie Allen will come up with it for Karindai. He's played it back to Jeffries. Jeffries runs himself. He's gone through McGree's tackle, but Moss will put him down. Jeffries getting up to play the ball, getting up slowly too. Played it back to Richie Allen. On it goes to Sorby, but the Scone defence is up very quickly on Sorby, and it's Jones and Mills who'll put him down. 2 Mills on the field today. Bob Mills is the second rower, and Cole Mills on the wing. Johnny Mercer trying to burst through out wide, but he's thrown to the ground just outside the Scone quarter line. Getting up slowly too to play the ball. Played it back to Jeffries. Gets it on to Polton. On it goes to McDonald. McDonald coming through the centre, but beautifully tackled by Jones and put to the ground just inside the Scone quarter line. Played back to David Russell. Polton. Out it goes to Orr. On to Sampson. Sampson throwing the dummy, looking for his supports, but he's beautifully bundled up and tackled by Garth Harrison and put to the ground in the 6th tackle. Yet another scrum to pack down on the Scone quarter line, and Quirindi have had most of the action so far.
Most of the action, applying the pressure early and certainly finding a lot of ground, enabling the wingers too. I noticed early in the match the wingers have had a couple of runs and also playing good tight football off the centre, but Quirindi seem to be the team that have settled down early. Naturally they're on the home ground and this could be a big advantage.
Scone have won the scrum. Reed comes round, was put down just outside the quarter line, played it back to Harshman, got it onto Puxty, and Puxty runs straight upfield. But Mercer's there to gather him in and put him down 15 metres short of the halfway mark. Played back to Moss, onto McGree. McGree makes valuable ground, another 4 metres upfield before he's put down by Corrigan. It's played back to Moss, gets it onto Reed. Out it goes now to Harrison. Harrison looking for a gap, now gets it back to Harshman. Harshman's up to halfway, but Sampson and Corrigan will put him to the ground. Harshman to play the ball, plays it forward and goes himself. Harshman through one tackle, but dragged into touch by Corrigan. And a scrum to pack down, this time 15 metres into the Quirindi half. We've had 8 minutes of play here at the Quirindi Sports Ground. The score is 0-all.
AML&F Company of Scone will be conducting an auction on Saturday the 25th of September, commencing at 10 a.m. at 152 Susan Street, Scone. On offer will be an older-style 4-bedroom dwelling, which would make an ideal family home or suit the renovator. Also, AML&F of Scone have an ideal small property for the guy just starting out on the land. 5 hectares, or if you haven't converted yet, it's 12 acres and close to Scone. It has sealed road frontage, town water, a small cottage, stables and yards. In fact, everything's ready to go, just $30,000, and terms can be arranged. If you'd like to inspect either of these properties, contact David Sanders at the AML&F Scone on 451633.
The full range of imported Toyota commercial vehicles is available through Shipton Services of Kelly Street, Scone. There are numerous models in the range of Land Cruisers, Hilux, Hi-Ace, Stout, Dyna, and 4 to 8 ton trucks. Shiptons offer great trade-ins on your old commercial vehicle when you trade up to a new Toyota commercial. Shiptons are suppliers of the full range of Toyota passenger vehicles as well. Good used cars are another specialty of Shipton Services. Toyota dealers to Scone and District in Kelly Street, Scone. Most pharmacies stock a wide variety of products, but really, you'd find it hard to top Chivers Pharmacy in George Street, Quirindi. Stocks range from quality driving glasses, the type recommended by racing personality Peter Werrick, right through the full range of beautiful French perfumes like Arpege, Taboo and Ambush. There's also Californian chocolates, Womble soaps for the kids, Kodak films and accessories, and with hot weather just around the corner, a big range of suntan oils and anti-burn lotions. Chivers Pharmacy in George Street, they really are a one-stop pharmacy. You could just about buy the kitchen sink there.
Well, Karindai have kicked through. They've been on the attack. The ball's been taken by Brown just inside his own quarter line. He's run it out and made about 10 metres. Plays it back now to Moss. Gets it on to Puxty. Puxty is tackled by Will Russell and put down. And seems to me the Quirindi style of play is to bring their wingers in. Played back to Moss. Gets it on now to Willfield. Here's a big run by the front rower. He's made about 6 metres upfield before he's stopped by Orr. Played back now to Moss. On it goes now to Mills. Mills running wide. He's through one tackle, but Mercer will gather him in. But Mills has gone over halfway. And Scone now on the attack, 5 metres into the Quirindi territory. Out it comes to Reed, to Jones, on now to Puxty. Puxty a big one out to Harrison. Scone throwing the ball around, out to Clydesdale. And Clydesdale's going to be held, but gets the ball away to Harrison. Harrison is going to be tackled by Cohen about 15 metres inside his own half. Played back to Jones. Jones runs himself. Held up by Corrigan in the tackle. Loses the ball, and it's going to be picked up by anyone. It's being kicked around everywhere. McDonald finally falls on it for Quirindi. And referee Frank Leonard is going to play a knock-on. So it's a scrum to pack down just about on the halfway mark with Wayne Reed to feed the ball in for Scone.
Brian, I noticed that both sides seem to have settled down much more now than they did in the opening minutes, which is very good to see. They're throwing the ball around, sometimes ambitiously, but nevertheless it's paying dividends.
Right, this scrum is won by Scone, and it's Colin Mills who falls on it in the wing position, has to run back and get it. Plays it back to Reed. Reed tries to step his way round the defence, but Allen will hold him up in the tackle, 10 metres short of halfway. It's gone out now to Willfield. Willfield is well tackled by Allen, 5 metres short of the halfway mark, and as he plays the ball, Orr will kick it into touch. So it's another scrum to pack down, this time about 8 metres into Scone territory. With the scrum packing down, we might have a scrum score. This could be very interesting. The scrums, Peter, are at the moment
3-2 in Scone's lead.
Scone leading in the scrum 3-2, and this one has also come out to Scone, but it's gone straight into touch. So another scrum to pack down.
The particularly pleasing aspect, of course, of the Quirindi side at the moment is that they're extremely quick up on defence. Not always noticeable with Quirindi in the early stages of a match.
And this is a penalty to Scone from the scrum. Referee Leonard indicating that Cole Jeffries was across the scrum, which of those hookers must do if they're going to win the ball. But anyway, Greg Jones will kick for the line for Scone. I think that's Scone's first penalties. The penalties 2-1 in favour of Karindai. And it'll be, he finds the line 8 metres into Karindai territory. The kick is taken by Cole Mills. He runs hard and straight, but it's Orr that holds him up in the tackle. And Mills will play it back to Moss. Gets it onto Willfield. Back to Moss. Moss on the wraparound. It's broken through a tackle. Up to the quarter line goes Moss. Moss in the clear, but beautifully tackled by Sorby. Only about 15 metres out from the line. It's Scone on the attack. Karindai laying on top of him. Played back to Day. Day decides to go himself, but he's going to be hurled back from the line. Only about 8 metres out now, Scone. Day plays it back to Moss. Out it goes now to Willfield. On to Jones. Jones looking for the centres. Out it goes to Clydesdale. Clydesdale gets it out to Brown. Brown diving for the corner is in. It's a try to Scone. Yes, Scone are over. On top of him. Played back to Day. Day decides to go himself, but he's going to be hurled back from the line. Only about 8 metres out now, Scone. Day plays it back to Moss. Out it goes now to Willfield. On to Jones. Jones looking for the centres. Out it goes to Clydesdale. Clydesdale gets it out to Brown. Brown diving for the corner is in. It's a try to Scone. Yes.
The farmer and grazier. Why not ask Dal Geddes to call and discuss the policy best suited to you and your family? You'll get friendly, helpful advice from the people at Dal Geddes of Kelly Street, Scone. Have peace of mind knowing you're fully covered by Union Assurance through Dal Geddes of Scone.
That's life. Everything that makes your living nice. That's life. That's life. Loafing or bopping or doing your thing, moving along, stopping to rest. Things go better when you're depressed. That's life. And everybody wants a little life.
Toyota introduce a little bit of foreign intrigue with their new 2-litre Corona. All the luxury, safety equipment, and the durability you expect from Toyota, with more than a dash of European styling. Toyota Corona. When your heart says Europe, but your head says Japan.
See how much car your money can buy from Toyota.
Test drive Toyota at JF and E.M. Howlett of John Street, Singleton.
The success of the conversion attempt, I should say, of Brian Harshman, of the try scored by Bruce Brown, out on wide on the wing, a very difficult kick, having to negotiate a win coming across the field, was unsuccessful. So Scone leading 3-0 against Quirindi. And a particularly good try by Brucey Brown. Initially, Ray Moss made the break of about 20 or 30 metres and got it away to Dickie Day. Dickie Day got the ball away along the back line. It went out through Ilfield. Jones cutting a player out who passed it on to the wing, and Bruce Brown went in the corner and a particularly fine try.
Karindai have kicked off. It's come to Puxty. Puxty running himself and makes good ground up to the 10-metre line. Still in Scone's territory before he's brought down there by Mercer. It's played back to Moss. Gets it onto Bobby Mills. Mills running hard and straight. He's dumped to the ground by Mercer. Still about 5 metres short of the halfway mark. Played back to Moss. Gets it on now to Reid. Reid cuts back to the blind side. Gets it on to Willfield. Out to Brown, the try scorer. Brown's run and kicked through. He's been knocked over after the tackle. This will be a penalty to Scone. Right on the Karindai quarter line, and Scone have a chance to put further points on the board. It's out very wide, and we'll just see what Scone will do. Greg Jones, I think, should call up his kicker. But no, he's going to kick for the line and try and put more pressure on Karindai. He's kicked for the line and found it. So Karindai are under pressure again with Scone only 20 metres out from the line. The tap taken by McGree. McGree goes straight and hard himself, but he's held up by Gardner and Sorby in the tackle. Only about 10 metres out. Played back to Moss. Gets it onto Mills. Mills trying to roll his way out of the tackles, but Polton will put him down. Still about 10 metres out from the Karindai line. And it's played back to Moss again. Gets it to Ilfield. Ilfield standing up in the tackle. Then bullets himself. He's gone right through and scored. Oh, Karindai stood off him. Ilfield swung around as if to feed Moss on the wraparound and then straightened up and went himself, and his great strength took him up the Karindai line. And it's played back to Moss again. Gets it to Ilfield. Ilfield standing up in the tackle. Then bullets himself. He's gone right through and scored. Oh, Karindai stood off him. Hillfield swung around as if to feed Moss on the wraparound and then straightened up and wet himself, and his great strength took him over very handy to the post. So after 17 minutes of play, Scone 6 are leading Karindai 0 here at the Karindai Sports Ground.
The country heavies
are leading Karindai 0 here at the Karindai Sports Ground.
The country heavies are looking like $1 million in their groovy gear from Carolyn and Mark's Jeanery and Assets in Quirindi. There's all makes of jeans like Levi's, Amco's and Lee Cooper, rugged western shirts, and a full range of shoes and stylish casual wear for both guys and chicks. If you're noticed around town as a good looker, then you're obviously wearing gear to be seen from Carolyn and Mark's Jeanery, right next door to Assets in George Street, Quirindi.
Another piece of good work by Scone, throwing the ball around rather ambitiously, and one of the form players in this match, the grand final of Group 21, is Bobby Mills at the moment, making good breaks. Whenever he gets the ball, he looks dangerous, and on that occasion it was Bobby Mills that made a good break, and Hillfield managing to put the final in touches through when he burst through a number of Quirindi players who seem to be standoffish, as they have done on a couple of players when close to the Quirindi line. So a good try, left an easy kick at goal for Brian Harshman, who has the ball placed at the moment. It's almost in line with the western upright, with very little breeze coming across field. A relatively easy kick as he comes in, puts his foot to the ball. It's there. Another 2 points to Scone, makes it now 8 points to 0 after only 17 minutes of play in the grand final.
And now the question remains, well, Karindai's spirit must be rather flattened by those 2 tries from Scone. On 2 occasions, Karindai have been caught out in their defence. First of all, out wide when there was nobody at home for Bruce Brown to score. And then again when Peter Hillfield went straight up the middle. Bolton's kicked off. It's gone to Jones. Jones takes it well too, right out on the touchline. And it's Gardner who moves up and Orr that hold him up in the tackle. Jones plays it back to Hillfield. Hillfield runs himself and makes good ground too, with Gardner and McDonald over the top to put him down. Hillfield to get up and play the ball. He'll play it back to Ray Moss. Gets it out to Mills. There goes Mills in typical fashion with his arm flapping. This time he's not going to make a lot of ground as it's Cole Jeffries and Wayne McDonald that put him down. Play back to Moss. Gets it on to Jones. Out now to Puxty. Puxty has spilt the ball and it's gone forward. Play on, says the referee, but he's only waiting for advantage. And now a scrum will pack down just inside the Quirindi half. Well, it's 8-0 to Scone after 19 minutes, and Quirindi are going to have to pull their game up a bit, I think, Mike.
A lot, especially their defence, which it was particularly good early in the match, but it's fallen away when Scone have gained a fair bit of possession in the last few minutes of this match, and that possession, of course, has enabled fellows like Bobby Mills and Brucey Brown plenty of room to move for the laps in the Quirindi defence.
Right, Quirindi have won the scrum. Orr gets it out to Will Russell. Out it goes now to Sampson. Sampson goes stepping through one tackle, but is going to be well tackled by Puxty, who hasn't left him alone all day. It's played back to Will Russell. Russell runs across field, now decides to straighten up, looking for a player to get it away to, but McGree has him well and truly wrapped up and he can't pass it. It's played back now to Terry Cowan. Gets it out to Polton. A big one out to Gary Sampson. On now to Mercer standing wide. Mercer can't get the pass away and Clydesdale will go underneath him and put him to the ground. Still 8 metres short of halfway. It's played back and comes to Orr. Orr throws a loose one back to Sampson. Picked up by Sampson and gets it on to McDonald. McDonald is immediately tackled by Hillfield. Quirindi not making a lot of territory in this movement as it comes out to Sampson. On it goes now to Gary Cowan. There's a bit of a break out there if they can get it on, but Cowan is well tackled by Clydesdale, who put him to the ground, ball and all, and a scrum to pack down for the 6th tackle in centre field and about 40 metres out from the Quirindi line. Well, Quirindi didn't make a lot of ground in that movement, Mike.
No, and they're not doing so at the moment, not seem to running on the ball. Those quick tries by Scone have certainly set them back a little bit, and I think they'll just have to find their feet again.
Right, well, several games we've seen up here at the Quirindi Sports Ground. Quirindi have come back from an early letdown. This one's won by Quirindi. Out it goes to Sampson. Sampson's immediately brought down by the Scone defence. That was Harshman up on him almost immediately. He's played back to Polton. Gets it on now to Ken Orr. Here's a big kick by Orr, but it's going out on the fall, far too big. And a scrum to back down, this time some 35 metres out from the from the Quirindi line and in centre field.
Well, the pressure on Quirindi once again, and the scrum close to their line extremely vital, especially from the scrum where their defence has left a lot to be desired, except from the early stages of the match.
Right, scrum packing down, fed in by Polton. It's won by Quirindi, but bring it back, says referee Frank Leonard, and it'll have to be fed in again. It looks as though Will Gardner's having trouble getting into the scrum, and The scrum packing down again, and it's Peter Polton to feed it in. It's coming out to Karindai very slowly. Now it's out to Karindai. Polton throws the dummy, goes himself, gets it to Sampson, and Sampson has built the ball. Polton dives on it for Karindai, but from an offside position, and it's a penalty to Scone. This one's right in front of the post, admittedly 40 metres out, and I reckon that takes the kick. Harshman lining up the kick, and after 22 minutes of play, Scone 8 lead Karindai 0 here at the Karindai Sports Ground.
Well, it's a big day today, the culmination of a big, hard and tough rugby league season, and the Willow Tree Hotel would like to say congratulations and well done to all the Scone sides who made it through to the grand final today. The Willow Tree Hotel in Kelly Street, Scone, has a long-range plan which will eventually give Scone residents a top-quality hotel. The Willow Tree Hotel, right in the heart of Scone territory, backing the Greyhounds all the way in '76, and of course in 1977 too.
The new range of spring shoes has just arrived at Tony Shoes of Scone and Muswellbrook. In the range are ladies and men's fashion shoes and a great range of summer sandals for the boys and girls. Handbags are an attractive find in the new spring and summer colours. You can buy all lay-by at Tony Shoes of Scone and Muswellbrook. And of course, bank card is welcome. Call and see the new range of fashion shoes now at Tony Shoes, Scone and Muswellbrook.
Flint's Farm Supplies of Kelly Street, Scone are Scone's hardware specialists, stocking complete supplies of all builders' hardware, gardening tools, fertilisers, chemicals, in fact almost everything to make your garden grow. You must see the range of Skillshare power tools and the Torbans paints and all other needed items of hardware, be it for the home handyman, tradesman or professional. Flint's Farm Supplies have gone into hardware in a big way. Their buying power enables them to pass the savings on to you. So when it's hardware you want in Scone, the place to buy is Flint's Farm Supplies.
Well, the penalty kick by Brian Harshman was unsuccessful, so Scone's still in the lead now, 8 points to 0.
All right, Orr has dropped out, and it's been picked up by McGree. He's brought down about 35 metres out from the Karindai line. Played it back onto Illfield. Illfield runs himself and makes good ground again to Illfield before he's dragged down by Mercer. Still about 30 metres out. Played on to Moss. Moss gets it to Mills. Mills can't get far this time as McDonald goes right around the ankles to put him down. It's played on to Moss. Gets it out to Reed, to Jones, on now to Day, coming up from fullback and chiming in well too. But Day also has Mercer underneath him, and Mercer will put him down on the quarter line. Played back to Moss, gets it out to Reed. Reed switches the blind side to Jones. Here's trouble for Quirindi to Clydesdale. Harrison has it, but Harrison is going to be bundled out by Corrigan, but doesn't go quite into touch. Now gets up and plays it back to Clydesdale. On to Jones. Here comes a high kick by Jones. It's a beauty, coming down right over the line. Well taken by Cowan for Karindai. Only about 5 metres out from his line. Cowan to get up and play the ball. Plays it back to McDonald. McDonald running it out himself. Karindai in trouble again.
Past 3.
Halfway day. Out of one tackle, but now well tackled by Will Russell. He's lost the ball in the tackle, and Sampson has fallen on it for Karindai. Day is injured on the ground, and referee Leonard has pulled up play. I don't think for any breach, Mike, but I think for the injury.
That's right. When Day went down on the ground, he let go of the ball and actually sustained an injury, but he's getting to his feet, onto his knees anyway. He looks okay, and Karindai in possession, relieving some of the pressure because Scone at this stage have looked very dangerous once inside Karindai half.
Right, well, Dickie Day is on his feet. He appears quite okay. And although he's walking a little bit stiffly, he's going back to his position. It's Donny Hayne out on the field is rubbing it down the rubber for Scone, and Donny Haynes played in a few grand finals for Scone too. Sampson plays it back to Orr, gets it on to Gardner. Gardner trying to burst his way through, but is well handled by Bobby Mills and Dale Puxty and put to the ground 2 metres short of the halfway mark. Played on to Orr. Out it goes to Polton, to Sampson. On to Cowan. Cowan's got nowhere to go as Harrison is quickly up there with him in defence. Played back now to Corrigan. Corrigan decides to go himself from dummy half. He runs hard too, but it's Mills and Harrison that are there to put him down. It's a great duel between Harrison and Corrigan today. Out the ball goes now to Sampson. On to Sorby. Sorby flicks back a loose one to Sampson, and Sampson's going to be barreled to the ground by Harshman and Jones. Has to get up and play the ball. Still 40 metres out from the Karindai line. Plays it back to Jeffries. Jeffries runs himself. Puxty up round the top. Wrestles him to the ground and puts him down about 8 metres short of the halfway mark. Last tackle coming up for Karindai. And look at the Scone players dropping back for the kick. Sampson gets it out to Sorby. Sorby puts his head and shoulder down, charges into the defence, and he's going to be held up about 10 metres short of the halfway mark. So Karindai battling to get out of their own half as this scrum packs down.
And contrary to the first few minutes of the match when Quirindi were consistently putting pressure on the Scone, naturally Scone playing away from home had a few nerves to settle down. They settled down extremely well, getting their share of possession and looking particularly dangerous.
Right, Quirindi won the scrum. Sampson first through over halfway, looking for his winger. Now he's well tackled though by Harrison, moving up it. It's gone out to Cowan, and Cowan has picked up the loose one. Play on, says referee Leonard. They're about 15 metres out from the line. Here's Karindai putting on. Played back to Russell. Russell gets it on to... it's gone out to Corrigan. Corrigan bursting for the line. He's in. Oh, tremendous try. And that was football that went from one end of the field to the other. Karindai have struck back in this match, and it's really come to life. The score here after 27 minutes of play, Karindai 8, Scone 8 leading Karindai 3, a kick to come under the post.
If you want a new windscreen for your Ferrari, forget about Newcastle four-wheel drive at 44 Park Avenue, Adamstown. But if you need anything from freewheeling hubs to a totally new four-wheel drive unit, believe it, these guys know their business. They're exclusively four-wheel drive with a complete stock of replacement parts and accessories available to use COD. Newcastle four-wheel drive are agents for Suzuki and Jeep and stock ex-Army Jeeps up to 1976. Plus they carry parts for Land Cruisers and Land Rovers. Newcastle four-wheel drive Adamstown, 049 575961, dealer 861.
And this conversion attempt is going to be made relatively easy through Corrigan's try underneath the post, and it looks like a particularly easy kick for Will Russell. Well, that try, a lovely try, almost went the full length of the field, changed hands about 10 times, and 2 points to Karindai, another 2 points, making them 5. That's a good conversion attempt by Will Russell of Corrigan's try, a particularly good team try, taking the score along now to Scone 8, Karindai 5.
Well, there's the advantage of backing up, Mike. Karindai, there was no try on there, but Karindai backed up straight up centre field, and that's where that try originated. The Scone defence otherwise has been absolutely watertight. There's Harshman's kick. He's kicked off, taken by McDonald, fumbled by McDonald, but he manages to stop himself from knocking on, and he's brought down by McGree, 15 metres short of the halfway mark, gets it on a war, and here's the captain of Karindai trying to make ground, and he's copying his corner from the Scone forwards too. Held up about 10 metres out from the halfway mark. It's come back to Gardner. Gardner tries to battle his way through, but it's pretty solid out there in the forwards now, and Gardner is held up in the tackle. It's come out to Polton, to Sampson, on to Cowan now. Cowan through one tackle, gets it on to Corrigan. Corrigan has thrown a big one out to Allen. Allen's taken it over halfway goes Allen. A beautiful tackle by Reed will put him down, and he's lost the ball in the tackle. There's a dive for it, and it's Scone that will come up with the ball. It's Ray Moss who got back there to take the ball. It's Harshman now running. Trying to run Scone out of trouble on this occasion. Runs it up to halfway before he'll have to play it. Plays it back now to Moss. On it goes to Illfield. Illfield runs hard and straight, solidly into Mercer too. But it's Sorby that will drag him to the ground. It's kicked through by Karindai. 6 tackles to go. As it's Bobby Mills taking the ball well into the Karindai half now. 12 metres into the Karindai half, in fact. Played back to Moss. On it goes now to Jones. On to Puxty. Puxty looking for the gap. But Allen will put him down about 40 metres out from the Karindai line. Out it comes to Jones, to McGree. Here's the Scone line working. Harshman to Harrison. Harrison bursting off the left foot. Gets it back inside to Harshman. But Harshman will be wrestled to the ground. And a good saving tackle by Peter Polton. McGree fires it out to Moss. On it goes now to Harrison. Harrison stepping off the left foot is going to be held up in the tackle of Corrigan and thrown to the ground. These two players are having a great battle out there today. It's played back to Moss. Moss goes himself along the line. makes 5 metres before he's put to the ground by John Mercer and have to get up and play the ball. 20 metres out from the Karindai line. 6 tackle coming up for Scone. Harrison out to Reid, to Jones. Jones on to McGree. McGree runs straight and hard, trying to burst his way through Sampson's tackle, but Sampson, with the help of all, will hold him up, and the scrum will pack down in centre field and only 20 metres out from the Karindai line. And Scone certainly looking good when they move with that ball.
Both sides in particular, rather ambitiously throwing their passes around, but they're going straight. There's very little breeze or any interference from anything else, and both sides are throwing the ball around particularly well, running onto the ball, backing up, indicating that both sides are fully fit and all doing well for an exceptionally very good climax of this game.
Right, a little bit of an altercation in the scrum, and it's Scone who are going to be penalised. Kevin McGree and Gordon Sorby. Well, I reckon they're enemies from way back, and I don't know who would have thrown the first punch there. But anyway, a quick tap taken by Orr, gets it out to Sampson, and Sampson held up by Moss in the tackle, plays it back to Orr, on now to David Russell, gets it out to Sorby, and Sorby crashes into Harshman, but is going to be put down by Puxty, 15 metres short of the halfway mark. Played back to Cowan, gets it on to Polton, up to Wayne McDonald. McDonald well tackled by Mills, right around the ankle and put down 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Plays the ball back to Polton, gets it out now to Orr. Orr back inside to Cowan. Cowan looking for the breakthrough, but he too is going to be brought down 10 metres short of the halfway mark in a good tackle by Mills. Played back now to Orr, gets it to Polton. Polton switches to the blind to Gardner. Gardner trying to step round the defence. Now unloads to Cowan. Out to Corrigan. On it goes to David Russell. Russell's dropped the ball. It's lying round loose. He'll dive back and get it, but it looked for a moment there as though Colin Mills could have scooped that one up, and he had the line in front of him. Scrum to pack down, and the scrums at the moment should be very interesting. Peter Allen, you might give us that scrum score, please.
Yes, Brian, the scrums are Quirindai's way 6-3, and the Fenleys are 3-all.
Right, there could be the story. This one's won by Scone, and I'm calling him Les Reid. Wayne Reid has come out the blind side of the scrum. It's come back to Mills. Mills running himself. He's into a break too, Mills, but he's going to be well tackled and put to the ground by Gary Sampson about 40 metres out from the Karindai line. Played back to Moss. Here's the hooker going himself again, but this time he has Peter Polton round the ankles to put him down. Played back to McGree. McGree runs himself, and there appears to be a gap up the centre of the Karindai defence there at the moment. McGree plays it back to Moss. Moss gets it out to Jones. Jones throws the dummy, doubles back the blind side, gets it on to Colin Mills. Mills runs to Allen, and Allen will put him to the ground, only 15 metres out from the line. And out ball's played to Jones, on to Reid. Reid steps back the other way, looking for the break on the blind side. Still going Reid, but runs into the arms of Allen. Fifth tackle, and Scone still 10 metres out from the line. Played back to Colin Mills, to Jones. Jones gets it out to Ilfield. Ilfield throws the dummy, goes himself, gets it to Clydesdale. Clydesdale spills the ball, and McDonald will dive on it for Karindai. Well, Scone looked to have Karindai at their mercy there. It's played back to Russell. Russell runs it himself, gets it to Cowan. Cowan also trying to run it out from his own line, and he's brought down about 18 metres from the Karindai line. Played back to Gardner. Gardner gets it on to Orr. Orr kicking for the line, and there's no one home this time. A beautiful kick by Orr. He's found the line 5 metres into Scone territory, and that's a wonderful kick by the Karindai captain.
That's the first time he's relieved the pressure from the Karindai side with some very astute kicking, and that one gaining something like about 40 metres. Relieving such pressure, but Scone look as though they're almost through the gap. They can see the gaps, and they're certainly applying a lot of pressure to Quirindi. But Quirindi, once given the room to move, are particularly dangerous, and they're showing too that they can, with that one fine try by Corrigan, which was a team effort.
Right, the scrum has broken up. It's quite a mess. I don't know who's won this one. It looks as though it's come out to Scone. Wayne Reid is getting up with the ball, and he'll play it back to Jones. Jones gets it out to Mills. Mills runs up to the halfway mark, and it's McDonald who'll put him to the ground with the help of Peter Polton. Just inside Karindai's territory now as he plays it back to Bruce Brown. Brown gets it out to Puxty. Puxty will be put to the ground by Orr. Still about 3 metres into Karindai territory. It's played back to McGree. Gets it out to Harshman. Harshman on to Harrison. Harrison running straight and hard. But going underneath him we have Terry Cowan. Harrison will play the ball. He looks as though he's going down injured too. Back to Jones it goes. Jones is looking for the line. This is a great kick by Jones. Well taken by Russell. Throws it back infield, but it's ruled that he stepped into touch by the touch judge, Reg Pittman. And a scrum will pack down this time only about 20 metres out from the Karindai line. So it's Scone moving back onto the attack. And Scone have had most of the attack in the final stages of this half. 36 minutes into the half. And the score still remains at 8 points to 5. It's won by Karindai at the scrum. Polton runs himself. He's into a break too. Still going, Polton. But Reid will gather him in about 40 metres out from the line. That's out from the Quirindi line. Play back to McDonald. Gets it onto Orr. Out it goes now to Corrigan. Corrigan comes stepping back in field. Held up in the tackle. Plays it back to Orr. Orr gets it to Mercer. Mercer straightens up and steps back inside, but going to go straight into the arms of Puxty. And Jones underneath will put him to the ground. It's played back to Sampson. Sampson gets it to Orr on the blind. Out it goes to Will Russell on the wing. Russell's round one tackle. He stepped round Brown, but he's not going to step round... well, Brown comes again, actually, and puts him to the ground. It's come back to Orr. Orr gets it onto Mercer. Mercer's going to bring play almost to halfway. 6 tackles coming up as Mercer will play the ball 5 metres short of the halfway. Gardner out to Polton. On it goes to Sampson. There's a bit of a break here. Out it goes to Jeffries. Jeffries gets it on the play. The Russell. There's plenty of Karindai around inside to Corrigan. Corrigan's in the clear. Out it goes to Allen. Allen score. It's just handling for the line. And Allen has scored it. No try. Forward pass. A forward pass has been ruled. I reckon it would have been a bit dicey. Corrigan's pass to Allen had to be a bit dicey. And it's no try. So we're coming back to the quarter line. Well, there'll be a lot of Quirindi people who wouldn't believe it, but I reckon it was a fair decision. No doubt about it. Looked a bit dicey from our position here. Scone kicking for the line, and it's Greg Jones who finds it about 8 metres short of the halfway mark. Even if it wasn't a try, it demonstrated the attacking ability of this Quirindi side. Mills takes the tap. Colin Mills. And he's held up on the halfway mark by Orr, doing a lot of work for Quirindi today. It's Moss who gets it back to McGree. McGree takes play over halfway, and once again it's Orr over the top of McGree to put him down. Play back to Moss. Moss gets it to Mills. Mills runs across field, trying to run round the defence, but he's going to be held up by McDonald and Polton in the tackle. Play back now to Moss. Gets it onto Ilfield. Ilfield out to Harrison. Harrison onto Clydesdale. Clydesdale slips it back inside to Harrison. On now to Harshman. Harshman to Jones. Jones tries to run round Gardner, but Gardner will put him to the ground. 10 metres into the Quirindi half. It comes back to Harshman. On now it comes to Day. Day making good ground too, but he's going to be beautifully tackled by Sorby and put to the ground. 40 metres from the Quirindi line. 6 tackles coming up. Harshman to Ilfield. Ilfield tries to charge his way through the forwards, but he's going to be put to the ground by Jeffries, and a scrum to back down for the 6th tackle.
Well, play fluctuating somewhat now with both sides gaining the ball, even possession of the ball in the final stages of this first half, and looking particularly dangerous. Both sides not playing a great deal up the front, up the forward part of their team, but a lot of work coming out along the back line, and they're certainly making use of the ball.
Scone still leading by 8 points to 5. And we've still got a minute left in this half. It's run by Scone too. Reid tries to get the ball back to Mills, and it's one loose, and Richie Allen will dive on it for Karindai. We're coming up to the end of the first half as it's played back to Polton. Polton decides to run himself, and it's Colin Mills that will throw him to the ground. He plays it back to David Russell, gets it out to Orr. Orr throws the dummy, goes himself, and it's Peter Wilfield that'll drag him to the ground. Still 15 metres short of the halfway mark. Play back to Will Gardner, and Quirindi are penalised. Ken Orr of all people for not playing the ball properly.
Not playing the ball correctly, kicking it in front, penalised. Just SAC, Brian.
Well, Jones is not going to take the kick for goal. He's going to kick for the line, and there goes his kick. And he's found it just on the Quirindi quarter line. We're coming up to half-time. Scone leading by 8 points to 5. And have another opportunity here to put a try on the board. Cole Mills to take the tap. He goes himself, but straight into the arms of Mercer, and Mercer will hold him up in the tackle. He plays it back now to Moss. Gets it out to McGree. McGree bursts himself, but it's Will Gardner that'll hold him up in the tackle. It's played back to Moss. Moss gets it to Mills. Mills running himself, but he's going to be picked up and dumped. About 15 metres out. Here goes the hooter for half-time. Scone gets Moss, gets it out to Ilfield and Jones charging for the line. A beautiful set move, but brought down only about 4 metres from the line. And the first half finishing very exciting style, and it's been an exciting game, or an exciting first half of rugby league in the 1976 grand final here at Quirindi. At the moment, Scone leading by 8 points to 5, but I think everyone will agree it's anybody's grand final at this stage. Right after these messages, Mike Pritchard will be talking to Greg Barnett, a former Quirindi player.
Coquette's my
Everybody likes to give you advice about what to do with your tax refund. Put it here, put it there. You can get more interest on it at so-and-so, etc., etc. I would rather give you some interesting information and let you make up your own mind. Did you know that the Commonwealth Bank lends more money for housing than any other financial organization in Australia? They lend most of it to their established customers. Think about it. And when you come to a decision, you'll find a branch of the Commonwealth Bank.
We take it back to the studio for messages before the commencement of the next session. Thank you very much.
Most pharmacies stock a wide variety of products, but really, you'd find it hard to top Chivas Pharmacy in George Street, Quirindi. Stocks range from quality driving glasses, the type recommended by racing personality Peter Werrett, right through the full range of beautiful French perfumes like Arpège, Taboo and Ambush. There's also Californian chocolates, Womble soaps for the kids, Kodak films and accessories, and with hot weather just around the corner, a big range of suntan oils and anti-burn lotions. Chivas Pharmacy in George Street, they really are a one-stop pharmacy. You could just about buy the kitchen sink there. It's a big day at Karindai today. We all know about the grand final. But did you know that the Karindai Spring Show is on too? At the show, you can see on display the EL Down stand, featuring a range of furniture and outdoor settings that will really take your breath away. There's attractions like the Roberta three-piece lounge suite covered in gold tapestry, spick and span modular barbecues in black or white cast concrete blocks, also a trendy all-metal colonial-style barbecue with white wrought iron lace trim, plus many great outdoor settings. When visiting the football, go and have a look at the EL Downs furniture at the Karindai Spring Show.
Karindai side are back out on the field here at the Karindai Sports Ground, so we're just waiting for Scone to come back onto the field before this 1976 grand final can resume. And at the moment, it's in the balance, with Scone leading by 8 points to 5. We'll just take this opportunity as Scone do file out on the field to remind people of football followers of a big coming event down Musselbrook Way, where the Lions Club are putting on a big sprint on the Saturday of the 27th of November. It's a professional and amateur sprint. The 70-metre New South Wales Championships will be on, and there'll be a 70-metre handicap, 100-metre handicap, and 100-metre football event, all carrying good prize money. There'll be Dave Irvine, the Wollongong footballer, is going to be one of the sprinters on show at that day. And they also hope to have Steve Rogers from Cronulla up. Chuck Fowler is one of the organisers, and of course Chuck Fowler is an old professional sprinter, and Des Wilkins. That's of interest to rugby league footballers, because Des Wilkins was a referee in the area for many years. Okay, they've kicked off, and Scone have kicked off. It's picked up by Allen, and Allen is brought down about on the Karindai quarter line. So it's Scone in the Karindai half as the second half commences. Gardner has it now, and he's going to be pulled down by Will Gardner. Plays it back to Orr. Gets it on now to Cole Jeffries. Jeffries is almost through too, but will pull down about 40 metres out from his own line. He'll play the ball back to Orr. Gets it on now to Corrigan. Moving into the ruck, and Corrigan bursts up to the 10-metre mark before halfway. I can't see if there's any replacements on the field, but out it comes now to Orr, to Will Gardner standing wide. Gardner running with the ball, has dropped it, picked up by Jones for Scone, and Jones is held up in the tackle of Mercer. Jones to play the ball. He'll play it on to, plays it on now to Moss. Moss runs himself, and Moss is brought down 10 metres into the Karindai half. Played back now to Reed. Gets it on to Illfield. Illfield out to McGree. McGree props, gets it back to Puxty. And Puxty comes tentatively through on this occasion. Brought down 10 metres into the Karindai half, though. Played back to Mills. Mills decides to run himself, and the Karindai defence standing back on this occasion. Corrigan lifts Mills up, but Mills won't go down. He has to be put back down on the ground. Played back to Illfield. Out to Reed. On it goes to Moss. To Harrison. But Harrison, the ball goes past Harrison, picked up by Bruce Brown, and he runs into Will Gardner. And the pace in the second half doesn't appear to be so great. Moss is played back to Moss in the sixth tackle. Moss throws the dummy, now gets on to Illfield. Illfield bursting onto the ball. His through tackles. Illfield's in the clear out to Brown, and Brown will score. Well, that's very bad defence by Karindai, and another great run by Peter Illfield, who has gone through and opened up the way for Bruce Brown to score. And after only 2 minutes of play in the second half, Scone have broken away again to lead by 11 points to 5 in the grand final. That's the score here at Karindai Sports Ground. after a tip.
A new range of spring shoes has just arrived at Tony's Shoes of Scone and Muswellbrook. In the range are ladies and men's fashion shoes and a great range of summer sandals for the boys and girls. Handbags are an attractive buy in the new spring and summer colours. You can buy all lay-by at Tony's Shoes of Scone and Muswellbrook. And of course, bank card is welcome. Call and see the new range of fashion shoes now at Tony's Shoes, Scone and Muswellbrook.
Flint's Farm Supplies of Kelly Street, Scone are Scone's hardware specialists. Stocking complete supplies of all builders' hardware, gardening tools, fertilizers, chemicals, in fact, almost everything to make your garden grow. You must see the range of Skillshare power tools and the Torban's paints and all other needed items of hardware, be it for the home handyman, tradesman or professional. Flint's Farm Supplies have gone into hardware in a big way. Their buying power enables them to pass the savings on to you. So when it's hardware you want in Scone, the place to buy is Flint's Farm Supplies.
Brian Harshman has the ball placed about 2 metres in from the western touchline. A relatively difficult kick for Harshman with the breeze coming across the field, somewhat behind him and from the northwest. He steadies himself as he moves back and vital points in the second half and could play a vital role. He puts the ball, but it looks as though it's going to go wide of the uprights, across the front of the uprights. So it's going to still lead 11 points to 5. And play in this second half began rather dull, but Scone have come to life by throwing the ball around particularly well. And Hillfield that time breaking through, as Brian pointed out, poor defence by the Quirindi side. Hillfield, a dangerous player with the ball, especially when he can see that line in front of him and about 25 metres out. He saw it that time, got in the clear, got the ball away to Brown and put it down 3 metres from the western corner post.
It's kicked off by Karindai. It's come down to Puxty, and Puxty will be put down about 40 metres out from his own line. Plays the ball back to Moss, gets it onto Hillfield on the blind side. Here's the big front rower, pulling out of tackles again. Up almost to halfway he goes. Before he's put to the ground by John Mercer. Hillfield will play it back to Moss, gets it on to Mills. Mills running across field, looking for a gap, still going across field, but he's going to be put to the ground by Polton. Still inside the Scone half and about 5 metres short of the halfway mark. It's played back to McGree. McGree gets it on to Reed, out now to Jones. Jones on to Harrison. Harrison stepping off the left foot again, comes back inside as he gets out of the tackle, still going Harrison, over halfway, but it's Mercer that'll put him to the ground. About 8 metres now into Karindai territory. Out it comes to Mills. Mills throws the dummy. Still going across field, but Mills will be put to the ground as there's plenty of Karindai defence there to deal with him. It's played back to McGree. McGree a big one to Jones. On now to Harrison. Harrison will put the ball in the air. This is the high one. Scone coming through after it. David Russell has misjudged it. It's bouncing round, picked up by Scone, knocked on by Scone. Buxley eventually come up with it, but that looked danger for Karindai as David Russell let that one bounce. It'll be a scrum down in the centre field, right on the quarter line, and Karindai are going to have to pull themselves together soon.
Yes, they'll certainly have to organise their defence much better than what they are at the moment if they want to come back into this game. 11 points to 5 in the second half after 5 minutes gone by. Leaves them with a lot of work to do, and especially in their defence.
Right, Scone won the scrum. Reed goes round the open side, but Sampson underneath him will put him to the ground. 20 metres from the Karindai line. Played back to Jones. Jones looking for the opening, but it's going to be bundled up and put to the ground by Sampson again, the tackler. And Polton underneath. It's played back to Moss. Moss goes himself almost through Moss. He's pulled down only about 10 metres out from the line. Moss to play the ball. Back to Puxty. On it goes to Jones. Out now to Mills. Mills has knocked the ball on. It's going to be picked up by Sorby for Karindai, and Sorby will play the ball. Karindai now have the job of running the ball out from their own line. Or throws the dummy, goes himself, makes about 6 metres upfield before he's hurled to the ground by Moss. And Moss has stolen the ball from him in the tackle, and it's Moss who'll get up and play the ball back to Mills. Gets it on to Puxty. Puxty stepping off both feet, trying to find a way through the middle of the ruck. But is going to be put down on the ground by Polk. Played back to Moss. Moss throwing the dummy, going himself, looking for the line, and almost in goes Moss. He's only about 3 metres out as he has to get up and play the ball. He'll play the ball back to Puxty, and the ball going round loose. A dive for it. Jeffries will come up with it for Karindai. Well, that's bad luck for Scone. They look to have Karindai in trouble. Jeffries to play the ball back to Sorby. Sorby runs himself. Makes good ground. Still running. Sorby too. Pushes off Colin Mills. But he can't push off brother Bobby Mills, and Mills will put him down. And Mills will be penalised for what referee Leonard is indicating as a punch.
Well, it looked as though there was a few arms swinging rather loosely there, so a punch may have eventuated from loose arms swinging at relieving the pressure off the Karindai side now with Ken Orr's kick, and it looks a particularly good one, gaining around about 30 metres.
Right, and we still have Scone in front here by 11 points to 5. Scone heading for their fourth grand final of the day as Jeffries takes the tap, goes himself, and is going to be thrown to the ground 8 metres short of the halfway mark. Jeffries to get up and play the ball. Back to Wayne McDonald. Gets it on now to Orr. Orr back to McDonald. On it goes to Richie Allen. Allen bursting up centre field, but it's Puxty straight underneath him that puts him to the ground. Orr to Polton. On it goes to Gardner. Gardner through Harshman's tackle, but it's Ray Moss that hangs to and holds him up just over halfway. Polton out now to Sampson. Sampson running himself. It's out to Sorby. Sorby out of one tackle. Tries to get around Hillfield, but Hillfield has him well and truly covered and puts him to the ground. Back to Polton. On it goes to Gardner, to Orr. Orr's put the little kick over the top. And it's Wayne Reid who's back there to take it well for Scone in good position. And he's going to be held up by Corrigan. Will have to play the ball 15 metres short of the halfway mark in Scone territory. Played back to Brown, and Brown's going to be held up by Will Russell in the tackle. Brown to play it. Back to Harrison. Harrison going himself, but it's Will Russell again that will hold Harrison in the tackle, and he will have to play the ball. Back to Brown. Brown gets it onto McGree, and McGree makes a couple of metres before he's put down by Corrigan and by Wayne McDonald. 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Moss to Jones. Jones is going to kick. It's a good one. Will Russell dropping back for Karindai. Has knocked the ball back. Now takes the ball. Runs up over his own quarter line. Runs to Harshman. Gets through Harshman. But it's Brown that's going to put him down on the ground with the help of Bobby Mills. 15 metres short of the halfway in Karindai territory. Out it goes to David Russell. Russell is going to be put to the ground by Puxty. Still 12 metres short of the halfway mark. To Sorby. On to Orr. To Gardner. Gardner throwing the dummy. Stepping round. Held up in the tackle. And eventually put down by McGree. Still about 9 metres short of halfway. Back to Orr. Orr knocked the ball back, but got it to Polton. Polton runs straight and hard. Puxty once again the tackler underneath him. 5 metres short of halfway. Back to Sampson. Sampson dummies to Corrigan. Now unloads to Mercer. Mercer spilled the ball backwards. It's going to be dived on by Cole Mills for Scone. And Bruce Brown it is who'll get up and play the ball. Back to Moss. Gets it on now to Harrison. Harrison is going to take play well over halfway now, 40 metres out from the Quirindi line, onto McGree. McGree running straight and hard upfield and plays perilously close to Will Russell, who's down injured at the moment. It's played back to Moss, gets it to Hillfield. The big front rower sets off again, but this time it's Ken Orr who'll bring him down 30 metres out. Played back to Moss, on to Reid. Reid looks for Jones, puts the big one over the top to Puxty. Puxty can't get through Mercer, but gets it back to Jones. Brown's in the field again over the quarter line, but it's a forward pass, and play will be recalled with Brown cantering away towards the try line, and could well have scored for Scone there. And Orr will relieve pressure with a kick, and he's found touch about 35 metres out from his own line, and Karindai, after 10 minutes of play, are in a lot of trouble in this second half. Scone leading by 11 points to 5.
The full range of imported Toyota commercial vehicles is available through Shipton Services of Kelly Street, Scone. There are numerous models in the range of Land Cruisers, Hilux, Hi8, Stout, Dyna, and 4 to 8 ton trucks. Shiptons offer great trade-ins on your old commercial vehicle when you trade up to a new Toyota commercial. Shiptons are suppliers of the full range of Toyota passenger vehicles as well. Good used cars are another specialty of Shipton Services. Toyota dealers to Scone and District in Kelly Street, Scone.
Go get life, everything that makes you living nice. Won't you share a Coke with me? Coca-Cola, that tastes great. Oh, moving it along or stopping to rest. Things will go better when you're refreshed. Go get life, and everybody wants a little life.
Karindai have battled back a great run by Will Gardner up to the Scone quarter line. Scone have been penalised, and it's Ken Orr kicking for the line, deciding not to take the penalty, and Orr will kick for the line and finds it too. about 15 metres out from the Scone line. Karindai on the attack, and that was an inspired burst by the Grasshoppers, and they certainly needed it. They've been in trouble. Scone leading 11-5. On it goes to Sorby from the tap. Sorby bursting for the line, brought down by Harsman, only 10 metres out. Play back to Jeffries. Jeffries to Gardner. Gardner crashing at the line. He's going to be brought down, only 2 metres out. And Scone in trouble now as Quirindi try to force their way over. Jeffries diving for the line. And I think he may have lost the ball. No, he's getting up to play it. We'll play it back to Gardner. Gardner gets it out to Orr. Orr puts the little one through and dives. He's going to score with the try. Oh, my goodness. Scone knocked the ball on over their own line, and Ken Orr has gone through and scored. Well, that was a move I don't think deserved it. Brought down by Harsman, only 10 metres out. Play back to Jeffries. Jeffries to Gardner. Gardner crashing at the line. He's going to be brought down, only 2 metres out. And Scone in trouble now as Karindai try to force their way over. Jeffries diving for the line. And I think he may have lost the ball. No, he's getting up to play it. We'll play it back to Gardner. Gardner gets it out to Orr. Orr puts the little one through and dives. He's going to score with the try. Oh, my goodness. Knocked the ball on over their own line, and Ken Orr has gone through and scored. Well, that was a move I don't think deserved a try, but Ken Orr's come up with one, so luck on his side on that occasion. The Grasshopper Russell lining up the kick. It's about 15 metres in from touch, and it's Mike Pritchard's comments.
Well, Brian, I don't know about that one, didn't deserve it, but actually Scone should have picked the ball up after it was kicked through by Ken Orr from the tap. He kicked it through. Scone players had ample time to pick the ball up as they knocked it on. Ken Orr took a dive, put his hand on the ball whilst it was over the line, and 3 points to the Karindai side with a kick to come, which is about 15 metres in from the western touch line. And Will Gardner can certainly put this one over on his kicking ability. But I did notice a little bit earlier, Will Gardner went down with an injury.
Will Russell, that is, Mike.
Will Russell,
yeah.
Went down with an injury, and he was limping around, but he looks quite okay as he lines this kick up, which is, as I said, 15 metres in. Steadies himself, moves in, put his foot to the ball. He does so, but it's missed right at the upright. So Scone still leading, but there's 4 points, and it's 11 points to 8.
Right, it's 11-8, but the grand final is well and truly alive here at the sports ground. As Scone bring the ball back to halfway, we've still got 27 minutes of football to decide the champion team for 1976. And is it going to be Scone take out 4 premierships here in 1976? Or will Karindai win their first ever Group 21 premiership? 27 minutes to decide it. Harsman has the ball placed, and he will kick off from the halfway mark. He's put a deep one down to David Russell. Well taken by Russell in his own quarter. Runs it out over the quarter line before Puxty and Moss put him to the ground, and they'll be penalised. What looks like a high tackle, Mike, by Puxty.
Indication of the referee is certainly a high tackle.
Right, and now it's going to be Ken Orr to kick for the line. Here goes Orr's kick. He's certainly found it over into the Scone half, and things are really hotting up in the grand final as there seems to be a conference on here. Karindai coming up very slowly to the tap. It's Johnny Mercer who's going to take it. He takes it, decides to run himself, so nothing on, but maybe the next movement. Mercer brought down by Jones. 40 metres from the Scone line. Scone defence. Up, straight and eager as it comes for Jeffries to Orr. Back to Jeffries on the wraparound. On to Gardner. Gardner trying to burst through. Got it away to Polton. Good work by Karindai, but Polton well tackled by Reed. It's come to Jeffries. On to Orr. Orr switches play to the blind side to Corrigan. Corrigan tries to step his way through. Gets the ball to David Russell. Russell brought down 30 metres out. Played it back to Corrigan. Corrigan decides to run himself through Jones. Got it on to Cohen. Cohen having a good game for Karindai is brought down about 15 metres from the Scone line. Played it back to Russell. Russell throws the dummy. Gets it on to Sampson. Sampson through one tackle. Looking for Orr. Now gets a big one out to Gardner. Gardner stilled it. And Will Russell out on the wing on his own. Anyway, Harsman comes up with it for Scone, trying to run it out. Harsman held in the tackle by Orr. Plays it back to Harrison. Harrison got it on to Day. And Day trying to run like a forward, but held up in the tackle of Orr. Will now play it back to Ray Moss. Gets it on to Ilfield. Ilfield trying to step his way through, making good ground once again as Polton goes under and puts him down. It's come back to Mills. Mills puts his head down, but it's Orr that holds him up in the tackle, and Mills will have to play it back to Ray Moss. Gets it on to Reed. Reed reverses to Jones. Jones looking for the line. Gets it to Russell. Beautifully taken by Russell, and he's leading to touch. And the evidence is right there. Will Russell looked at the lines with Ron Brompton, but he only had to look at his backside, and he'd see white chalk all over it. He definitely slid into touch, and a scrum to back down 6 metres this time into the Karindai half. Bolton to feed the ball in. It's going to come out to Quirindi. Bolton picks it up from the back. He can only go by himself. Buxty's there to put him down. Bolton to play the ball. Back to McDonald it goes. On now to Will Russell. Out to Gary Sampson. Sampson stilled it. He's picked it up again, stilled it again, but it'll be a knock-on. You don't very often see Gary Sampson stool the ball, but he did on that occasion. Another scrum to back down in centre field, 10 metres inside Quirindi territory.
Well, let's kick back. Greg Jones relieved the pressure from Scone, gaining some 25 metres, and Will Russell unluckily to go into touch as he dives to pick up that ball. And once again, Scone in the Quirindai's half.
This one's coming out to Quirindi. On it goes to Sampson. Sampson tries to step his way back infield, but Husband hanging to him. Holds him up in the tackle. Played it back to Bolton. Gets it on now to Terry Cowan. Cowan coming infield, but Jones and McGree combined to put him down. Played back to Sampson. On to Orr. Out it goes now to Corrigan. Corrigan setting back with him. Out of 3 tackles. 4 tackles. Still going Corrigan. And Scone defence having a lot of trouble putting him down. In fact, he's not down yet, but held up by McGree. David Russell gets it out to Orr. Orr gets it on to Stormy. Stormy's to a break. He's got the ball in Russell. Russell's got it going down the wing. Russell has kicked forward, and it's a dive for the ball over the line. It's a try. Gets it out to Orr. Orr gets it on to Stormy. Stormy's to a break. He's got the ball in Russell. Russell's got it going down the wing. Russell has kicked forward, and it's a dive for the ball over the line. It's a try. Stormy has followed through and scored a try. What tremendous football that was. I don't know what would have happened. Will Russell was barreled into touch after he kicked the ball. Whether it would have been a penalty, it may have been the advantage rule. Well played by referee Leonard. But Gordon Sorby, of all people, sprinted like a three-quarter to dive on the ball over the line, and that's evened it up at the sports ground. It's 11-all with a kick to come from Will Russell after 18 minutes of play in this second half.
The Commonwealth Bank says you put the odds in your favor when you bank Commonwealth.
Toyota introduce a little bit of foreign intrigue with their new 2-litre Corona. All the luxury, safety equipment, and the durability you expect from Toyota, with more than a dash of European styling. Toyota Corona. When your heart says Europe, but your head says Japan.
See how much car your money can buy from Toyota.
Test drive Toyota at JF and Ian Howlett of John Street, Singleton.
Will Russell has this ball placed about 10 metres in from the western touchline, and he's ready as he moves in to put his foot to this ball, but he's miskicked it, completely miskicked it, and no chance of even only just getting near the post. But still, a fine piece of work by Will Russell a few moments earlier when he took the break, took the ball away from Gardner and kicked through over the Scone try line. He was bundled into touch, but as it turned out, it was Storby that went in to put his hands on the ball and score a try. A brilliant piece of football by Quirindi, and they're coming back into the road as we have seen them on so many occasions this year come back in the second half.
Right, and Mike, probably as busy as the players out on the field at the moment is the police, because they're having a busy time getting people back from the sideline. We were lucky to see actually what happened in that try. We were well and truly covered. Anyway, here's the kick-off from Harshman. He's put a deep one down. It looks to be a good kick, but well taken by Richie Allen. Runs it over the corner line. Now running infield, but what a beautiful tackle by Buxty right around the ankles. It's played back to Orr. Gets it out to Mercer, and Mercer runs it, makes 4 or 5 metres before he's held up by Harshman. Played back to McDonald. On it goes now to Gardner. Gardner into a break. He's gone right through the fence, but he's lacking support. McGree and Reed holding up in the tackle. Gardner to play it, 8 metres short of the halfway mark to Bolton, to Orr. On it goes to McDonald. McDonald thrown to the ground by Harrison and claimed by Buxty. Still 5 metres short of halfway to David Russell. On to Gary Sampson. Sampson to Corrigan. Corrigan bursting over halfway, but well tackled by Harrison in the 5th tackle. Played back to Allen. Gets it on to Cowan. Cowan to Sampson. Sampson running across there, looking for the break. Gets it out to Russell. Russell's in a break. He's kicked infield again. Coming down to Day. Day's underneath the ball. out safely, and what a great take by Day. The Karindai defence was right on him to put him down. Kicked through from the play of the ball and knocked on by Scone. It's a knock on, so it's a scrum down. Only about 10 metres out from the Scone line, and this kick infield's causing Scone a lot of trouble, but on that occasion, well taken by Day. Scrum packing down, 10 metres out from the line. Wayne Reid defeated in. It's 11-all at the sports ground. Bolton to Sampson, but it's got to be recalled. Back into the scrum. Reid to feed again. And Scone needs this one by Craigie. It's coming into the scrum out to Karindai. Bolton throws the dummy, but Bobby Mills has broken and claimed him. Out it comes to Sampson now. On to Cohen. Cohen sets sail for the line, but Clydesdale and Harsman barrel into the ground. Corrigan's there at dummy half. Corrigan gets it on to Sampson. Out to David Russell. Russell into a bit of a break, but it's going to be held up by Dickie Day. Gets it back to Allen. That's knocked back, but Allen dives on it for Karindai. Well, this game has really come to life as it comes out to Sampson. Back inside to McDonald. McDonald brought down in a good tackle by Harrison. It's played back to David Russell, to Bolton, to Orr, out to Corrigan. Corrigan props, goes inside, out of Moss's tackle, unloads to David Russell. Russell is going to be bundled up and put to the ground by Puxty. Still 20 metres out. Last tackle coming up for Karindai. Cohen, out to Sorby, to Orr. Orr's kick is straight up in the air, right under the post. It's a big one for Day to take, and Day has looked up to the ball, bouncing round loose. But Scone have dived and saved. Well, there's another one that went loose, and Harrison was there to take it for Scone. Scone in a lot of trouble at the moment.
A lot of trouble. The enthusiasm's coming right back into this Quirindi side now. With a try on the board, the score's level, and coming back into the home ground with the home crowd behind them and putting on the style of football that we know they can, especially in the second half, and they're throwing the ball around very well indeed and backing up too.
Here's a big kick by Sampson. He's put it by Jones. He's put it way down over the halfway. Taken by Sampson, and Sampson's well marked by Mills, Colin Mills, and put down on the halfway mark. Played it back to Allen. Allen puts his head down, almost goes through the forwards, but Hillfield's there to put him down. He'll play it back to Cohen. On goes now to Corrigan. Corrigan out to Gardner. Gardner's going to be wrestled to the ground by Harrison. Well, doesn't get him right to the ground, but he'll have to play the ball. Back to Corrigan. Corrigan gets it on the wall. Or to Mercer. Mercer still at no, he's going on. Now to Russell. Russell steps inside. That gets it back to Jeffries. And Jeffries is thrown to the ground by his opposite number, Moss. Jeffries to play it. 20 metres out from the Scone line. Gets it out now to Orr. On to Russell. Russell to Sorby. Sorby's still it. He's dived on it and saved for Karindai. So scrum to back down. And the second half scrum's clear to Alan Reid. What way?
3-1 in Karindai's way. The Benleys are 4-0 in Karindai's way.
Well, that's just about the picture in the second half. Karindai have had all the action with the ball. And Scone have done nothing but defend. This one's won by Scone, but recalled by referee Leonard. Well, Scone are going to have to get a bit of ball soon, or they could be in trouble. It's won by Karindai. Out to Sampson. Here's David Russell coming up from fullback. He's stopped the ball. And Scone will come up with it. Hillfield breaking from the scrum will dive on it. Play back to Brown. Brown runs himself too. Makes good ground, Bruce Brown. And this is where Scone could be dangerous. This is the first bit of ball they've had for a while. Comes back to McGree. McGree running across field. Now straightens up. But a beautiful tackle by McDonald will bring him down. Play back to Moss. On it goes to Mills. Mills, Bobby Mills is going to be brought down by the referee. He's lost the ball. He's regained it. Or has he regained it? Referee Leonard is making a ruling. 6 tackles to go, and Mills has the ball. 6 tackles to go for Scone as it comes back to Moss. Moss runs himself and is pulled down by McDonald. 4 metres short of a halfway mark. Play back to Mills. Mills gets it on to Puxty. Puxty throws the dummy, straightens up, but right into the arms of Gardner, and Gardner will bring him down. It's played back to Jones, on to Reid. Reid up to the halfway mark, throws a big one out to Colin Mills on the wing. Mills over halfway, a great burst by the winger. Pushes off one tackle, comes in field. Mills still running up to the quarter line goes Mills. He's still going. Mills is still going. What a great run by the winger, Colin Mills. Only 15 metres out. It's played back to Moss. Moss gets it out to Bobby Mills. Mills is going to be held up by Allen in the tackle. Still only 15 metres out from the line. It's kicked through by Karindai. 6 tackles to go. It's come to Jones. Jones runs himself on the blind side. Into a gap goes Jones, but he's going to be well tackled. Almost into touch. Now he's pushed into touch. And scrum will back down this time. only about 8 metres out from the Scone line.
Well, play has fluctuated in the last couple of minutes, and since Scone have been able to gain a bit of possession, and which they have done, some good kicking by Jones, and now they're putting the pressure on Karindai only a few metres away from the Karindai line, and this one could be dangerous.
It's won by Karindai, though. Bolton comes away from the scrum with it, and that's Scone's story in this half. No ball. It's played back to Russell. Russell gets it out to McDonald. McDonald smothers up and makes a few more metres before he's brought down by McGree. On it goes to Orr. Orr to Gardner. Gardner looking for support. Held up in the tackle. Still going, though, and makes another couple of metres. Got it away to Orr. Orr looked to be in a break, but the defence closed on him quickly, as it was Bobby Mills and Jones who moved in to squeeze him down. It's played back to Will Gardner. Gets it out to Bolton. Bolton throws the dummy. Tries to run through Harshman, but Harshman will put him to the ground. 30 metres out from the Karindai line. As it comes out, a big one to Gary Sampson. Sampson tries to go round Harrison, but Harrison will hold him in the tackle. 6 tackle as it comes to Sorby. Sorby throws the dummy, goes himself, pushes off Hillfield, but Hillfield will hang to him and put him to the ground in the 6 tackle. Scrum to pack down about 15 metres short of the halfway mark. It's still 11 all at Quirindi, and what an exciting game it's developed into with 14 minutes to go to full time.
The country heavies are looking like $1 million in their groovy gear from Carolyn and Mark's Jeanery and Assets in Quirindi. There's all makes of jeans like Levi, Amco's and Lee Cooper, rugged western shirts, and a full range of shoes and stylish casual wear for both guys and chicks. If you're noticed around town as a good looker, then you're obviously wearing gear to be seen from Carolyn and Mark's Jeanery, right next door to Actives in George Street, Karindai.
And back at Karindai, Scone have been penalised. It's Orr who's going to kick for the line, and he's found it too. And this puts Karindai back on the go. Well, there's 13 minutes to go now. It's anybody's grand final. Still, but Karindai have the opportunity now. Jeffries to take the tap. Gets it on to Sorby. Sorby puts his head down, crashes into McGree. And one wonders whether there's going to be any replacements in the Scone side shortly. It comes out to Gardner, to Mercer. Mercer brought down 20 metres out, and he'll have to play the ball. The penalty could win this game for either side. It's on to Sampson. Sampson out of one tackle. Still going, Sampson. Looking for Russell, but he's going to be dragged to the ground, and he's going to be claimed by Bob Mills. Plays the ball back to Dennis Corrigan. Corrigan puts one back inside to Sampson. It's not a good pass, and Sampson has knocked the ball on. Regains possession, so a scrum to pack down, and this is going to be one that Scone will need to win. I know I've been saying that a while, but they haven't won many.
They haven't won many, and the scrum is set down only a few metres inside Scone's quarter-way line, and a very vital one, as most of them are going to be now, especially with the score so level. And referee Leonard talking to both packs of forwards as they settle down for the scrum. Metres out from the Scone line, and evenly contested.
It's in, and it's come back out to Scone. Brown picks it up, but put it in again, says referee Leonard. It's won by Karindai. Bouncing round awkwardly for Sampson. He picks it up, goes himself. But Puxty, as ever, is around his ankles and puts him to the ground. It's Sampson to get up and play the ball. Back to McDonald. McDonald runs himself. He's pulled down about 15 metres from the Scone line. Plays it back to Sampson. Gets it out now to Bolton. Bolton to Corrigan. Corrigan has spilled it. Harshman dives on it for Scone. And that could be a costly mistake. Harshman coming up with the ball. We'll play it back to Harrison. Harrison tries to run himself on dummy half. Makes good ground too before he's brought down. And if Scone can get any sort of ball, they could bamboozle this Quirindi defence. They've had a lot of the attacking to do lately, and they haven't had much defending. And it's now Moss who's brought down 15 metres short of halfway. He'll play the ball back to McGree. Gets it out to Mills. Mills, Bobby Mills, the second rower, is brought down 10 metres short of the halfway mark by Mercer. And by the halfback Bolton. It's played back to Ray Moss. On it goes now to Reed, to Jones. Out to Hillfield standing wide. Hillfield looking for the break. Gets it back inside to Puxty. On it goes now to Jones. Jones has unloaded the ball to McGree. Out it goes to Harrison. To Day up in the movement. Over halfway goes Day. He's still going. Gets it out to Mills along the wing. Back inside to Day. There's great football by Scone. They've brought play to the Karindai quarter line. Now it's Scone on the attack. Mills gets it to Reed. On it goes now out to Harrison. Harrison sets sail over the quarter line, but he's going to be brought down by Gardner. Last tackle coming up for Scone. Will it be a field goal? Play back to Puxty. Puxty gets it back to Moss. Moss reverses play to Jones. And Jones gets it out to Reed. Reed's going to have a field goal. It's knocked down. It's a penalty. Oh, an unfortunate watched that. What would you say? An accidental offside play by John Mercer. It's a penalty to Scone right in front of the six.
Wayne Reid, the ball, you could see what they were trying to do. They were trying to throw the ball around so someone could have a shot at goal for a field goal. And he got to Wayne Reid, who attempted the field goal. It came off another player, and standing in an offside position, it looked like Dennis Corrigan, who was penalised immediately, leaving Brian Harshman a relatively easy kick to kick. It's almost on the quarter line, almost in centre field. Very little breeze at this stage, so Harshman could well put Scone in front with only minutes remaining.
9 minutes to go. It's 11-all at the Karindai Sports Ground.
Well, it's a big day today, the culmination of a big, hard and tough rugby league season, and the Willow Tree Hotel would like to say congratulations and well done to all the Scone sides who made it through to the grand final today. The Willow Tree Hotel in Kelly Street, Scone, has a long-range plan which will eventually give Scone residents a top-quality hotel. The Willow Tree Hotel, right in the heart of Scone territory, backing the Greyhounds all the way in '76, and of course in 1977 too.
If you want a new windscreen for your Ferrari, forget about Newcastle four-wheel drive at 44 Park Avenue, Adamstown. But if you need anything from freewheeling hubs to a totally new four-wheel drive unit, believe it, these guys know their business. They're exclusively four-wheel drive with a complete stock of replacement parts and accessories available to use COD. Newcastle four-wheel drive are agents for Suzuki and Jeep and stock ex-Army Jeeps up to 1976. Plus, they carry parts for Land Cruisers and Land Rovers. Newcastle four-wheel drive, Adamstown, 049 575961, dealer 861.
When it comes to insurance, why not call on the experts at Dalgetty's of Scone? Dalgetty's can effect insurance through Union Assurance, and there are many covers and schemes available to save you money. There's the 3 policies in one, the personal pack or the combined insurance for the farmer and grazier. Why not ask Dalgetty's to call and discuss the policy best suited to you and your family? You'll get friendly, helpful advice from the people at Dalgetty's of Kelly Street, Scone. Have peace of mind knowing you're fully covered by Union Assurance through Dalgetty's of Scone.
And at the Karindai Sports Ground, Karindai have been awarded a penalty that's going to put them out of trouble. They've been under a bit of pressure from Scone in the last few minutes. We've still got, by the way, Brian Harshman missed the kick at goal. It's 11-all still at the Sports Ground, and Ken Orr kicking for the line. And there's his kick. He's found it just over halfway and in Scone territory. And the grand final starts from here. We've got 7 minutes to go, and the scores are locked at 11-all. So it's anybody's game. And Cole Jeffries brings the ball to the halfway mark, gets it out now to Orr. On it goes to Will Gardner. Gardner goes over halfway before he's taken down by Peter Ilfield, who will have to play the ball. Back to Jeffries. On it goes to Sorby. Sorby makes only 1 or 2 metres before he's brought down by Ilfield. Plays it back now to McDonald. McDonald back on the wrap round to Allen. Allen spills the ball. And it's play on as Scone's Greg Jones comes up with the ball. He'll play the ball back to Ray Moss. Moss trying to burst over halfway is well put down by McDonald. It's still 6 minutes to go in the game. 11-all it is as Bobby Mills crashes over halfway for Scone. Bringing the play up to the danger area now where Scone can put a field goal over. It's out to Jones, on to Puxty. Today up in the movement from fullback. But Day will be put down 10 metres into the Quirindi half. Scone forcing their way upfield. Puxty has it. Out it goes to Reid. To Jones. Jones on to Wilfield. Wilfield's going to be well tackled by Polton on this occasion. And brought down 8 metres into the Quirindi half. Reid gets it out to Harshman. On to Harrison. Harrison throws the dummy and steps back inside. Still going, Harrison. He's gone through 3, 4 tackles up to the quarter line goes Harrison. Still going. Looks for support. Put down by Mercer. Only 20 metres from the Quirindi line. Play back to Reid. Gets it to Jones. Jones is going for the field goal and it's going to miss. No goal. It's a 25 tap to Karindai, and in his wake, Garth Harrison has left 3 Karindai players stranded on the turf. There's no goal. It's still 11-all. We've only got 5 minutes left to play. Karindai to run it off, and there's a hold-up in play. David Adams is going to be sent onto the field. Brian Harshman is being replaced, and this could be the key to the match. David Adams is going onto the field. There goes Gordon Sorby with the tap kick. He's made 5 metres before he's brought down by Jones. Played back now to Cole Jeffries. Gets it onto Orr. Orr trying to rally his players now and makes good ground, but it's David Adams into the action quickly that will hold him up in the tackle. Played back to Will Russell. Gets it out now to Corrigan. Corrigan looking for the break, but Puxty right around the ankles will bring him down. Played back now to Sampson. Sampson Good ground too. It's going to be well tackled though. 5 metres short of the halfway mark. There goes Will Russell over halfway into a break goes Russell. He steps around Reed. The corner line is kicked through and Peter Polton must score but bounces right for him. No, it's going to go dead and be run dead by David Adams. Well, there's great excitement here now. That was a great bit of work again by Russell. He broke through and kicked through. It's going to be a line drop out to Scone. And this is one I reckon Greg Jones won't put out on the pool. That would mean a penalty kick right in front. We've only got 4 minutes to go in the grand final. It's still 11 all. Greg Jones takes the kick out from the line. It's coming down to Ken Orr. Well taken by Orr over his shoulder. Now starts to run upfield. Tries to run round McGree, but eventually put to the ground. Still 4 minutes to go. Only 4 minutes to go as it comes back to Gardner. Gardner's made a good burst. Scone is starting to look tired in defence. And well they might. They've had to defend all this half. It comes out to Sorby. Sorby's into a break. He's still running. Sorby. He's trying a loose one picked up by David Russell. And David Russell is still going. Almost loses the ball in the tackle. Held up 15 metres out. Played it back now to Cohen. Cohen throws the dummy. Goes forward himself. And gets it away to David Russell. Russell's brought down. Only 7 metres from the Scone line. And it's going to be played back to Richie Allen. Gets it out now to Orr. Orr onto McDonald burst for the line. A beautiful tackle by David Adams to bring him down. Back to Orr. Orr throwing a big run at Sorby. And Sorby will score. No, he's held up. Great defence by Scone. Sorby held up right near the line. Or right over the line, in fact. And great defence indeed by Scone. Sorby looked to have them at their mercy, but the defence quickly closed on him. And Scone looking very tired indeed. As I say, well they might. They've had none of the ball this half. And they'll bring the play now back to the 25 line. And it'll have to be a drop kick. It'll have to be a drop kick with Karindai held up over the line. Here comes Jones' kick. He's put a big run down. Right over Gary Sampson's head. Sampson has to run back almost to his own line. Scone streaming upfield on him. Sampson runs it up to the quarter line. Tries to step through Mills. He does. Beautiful bit of work by the 5'8", but David Adams will bring him down on a copybook tackle. 15 metres short of halfway, and Sampson is injured. And it's a penalty to Quirindi. And referee Leonard is indicating a punch thrown there.
Yes, the indications from the swinging of the referee's arm certainly indicates that there was an infringement all along those lines, putting the pressure now back on Scone with Ken Orr's kick. And Scone, as you pointed out, a few players were down it earlier, and they look as though they may be jaded.
It's 2 minutes to go. It's 11 all at the sports ground. And there comes Cole Jeffries up to take the tap. Well, a field goal could win this grand final. That's how close it is. Gardner takes it from Jeffries. He makes 10 metres before Jones gets underneath him. And I don't think Scone can withstand this for too much longer. They look very tired. Out it comes to Polton. To Sampson. Sampson's knocked it on. And a scramble tack down in centre field. Well, this will give Scone a chance to get the ball and get away from doing some of this tackling, which certainly is taking its toll.
That's right. They haven't got a great deal longer to go, but the last minute of play with this scrum in centre field, and a lot of pressure being put on Scone. And as you say, whether they can withhold it or not, we don't know.
It's run by Karindai. Polton gets it from the back. He goes himself, but he's going to be well and truly put down right in centre field. 50 metres out from the Scone line. Played back to Gardner. Gardner makes very little ground, but gets it out to Orr. On it goes to Sampson. Sampson throws the dummy. He's dropped the ball. Gets it back out now to McDonald. McDonald's put down. And Karindai, Scone defensive rallied. Scone defensive rallied. They're moving up quickly on Karindai now. Gardner gets it out to Cohen. Cohen's got nowhere to go as the defensive Hillfield and Puxty's there to put him down. What an exciting game this is. It comes to Corrigan. On to Orr. Back to Corrigan. Corrigan straightens up. He's running hard too. He's burst through 2 tackles. But Mills and Jones will hold him up. Later back to Orr. Gets it to Russell. Russell out to Cohen. Cohen fires it back inside to Jeffries. And with the 6th tackle coming up, Karindai are not in a great position for a field goal. That's Jeffries getting up to play the ball. Back to Cohen. Cohen to Orr. Orr's going to have a go, but he's got no chance. It's going to hit the post. Bounces back into the field of play. Picked up by Wayne Reed there. Reed decides to run it upfield. And Reed still running too. It's a good run by Reed. Up to the quarter line. Gets it out to Clydesdale. Clydesdale has Mills with him. Mills makes a burst up the wing. He's through Allen. Mills is in the clear. He's going to score. Up to the quarter line goes Mills. He's going to score. He's going to play away. He's going to run down behind the post. A great try by touchdown for Karindai. Scone have scored from one end of the field to the other, and it's almost full time.
Right, it is almost full time. Well, it was Colin Mills. It was almost on the quarter line. When he got hold of the ball, he beat 2 or 3 Quirindi players. There was one that tried to pull him down behind the Guernsey, couldn't get hold of him. And it was Mercer in the background that tried to catch it, almost got there. And it was Colin Mills that came around, put the ball under the post, and it looks like a 5-pointer too for Scone.
It must be almost full time. It might be full time. Scone are dancing around. It looks as though it is all over. Well, you would have thought 2 minutes ago it was going to go the other way. That's the way grand finals are. As he kicked the goal, he has Scone's grand final. It's all over. Scone 16 have defeated Karindai 11 here at the Karindai Sports Ground to make it 4 out of 4 for Scone, and Scone's first premiership since 1972.
Buying and selling real estate is a pretty involved business. You can't be expected to understand every aspect. That's where the AMLNF comes in. Hi, I'm David Sanders, AMLNF Scone's real estate specialist. Whether you're buying or selling building blocks, houses, small farms or larger properties, I'm sure I can help. We have listed at the moment a wide variety of properties throughout the Upper Hunter, and we have a number of people interested in buying the various types of properties in the Hunter. So remember, if you're buying or selling real estate, contact me, David Sanders at AMLNF Scone on 451633.
Most pharmacies stock a wide variety of products, but really, you'd find it hard to top Chippers Pharmacy in George Street, Quirindi. Stocks range from quality driving glasses, the type recommended by racing personality Peter Werrett, right through the full range of beautiful French perfumes like Arpege, Taboo and Ambush. There's also Californian chocolates, Wobble soaps for the kids, Kodak films and accessories, and with hot weather just around the corner, a big range of suntan oils and anti-burn lotions. Chippers Pharmacy in George Street, they really are a one-stop pharmacy. You could just about buy the kitchen sink there.
Well, we're back at the Karindai Sports Ground, and it's absolute bedlam here. I can see Ken Orr walking off the field looking very disappointed, as well he might. A few moments ago, with only seconds to go in the grand final, you'd have reckoned that Karindai had its game on toast. But then, what a tremendous final few seconds for Scone. A kick through, attempted field goal by Orr. It hit the upright. It wasn't tall enough to score a field goal, and bounced into the field of play, picked up by Wayne Reid. The Karindai defence hung off Reid. He ran around in circles for about for at least 15 seconds, and then ran to the open side and fed on to Mills, and Mills found the gap, and there was nobody at home for Karindai, and Mills absolutely cantered away with this grand final. If ever there's going to be a name put to this grand final, it's going to be Colin Mills' grand final. There's no risk about that. He outsped Richie Allen. Richie Allen looked to have him covered all the way, and Colin Mills left him in his wake. So there's no doubt about it. Colin Mills has stolen the 1976 grand final for Scone. The goal was converted, and Scone have gone on to win by 16 points to 11. The story of the match, the second half scrums were 7-1 in favour of Karindai, and the penalties were 8-1. That's enough ball to choke a side. And the full score in the scrums we'll give to you in a moment, but that's the score in the second half, 7-1 to 8-1. And that's a big ball advantage to the Karindai side. In the earlier grades, just repeating, it's been a great day for Scone. They've won all grades here today, and I think that'll go down in history as one of the finest efforts ever in Group 21. In second division, Scone won by 15 points to 8. The try scorers for Scone were Ian Smith, Dale Hinton, and the other try scorer was Noel Crandall, with Acker McKenzie kicking 3 goals. For Musselbrook, Harry Matthews and Cole Scriven scored the tries, and Mick McCormick kicked the goal. In the juniors, Scone won by 16 points to 5, and this again was a great win for Scone, with tries coming to Casey McGuinness, David Adams Singleton's kicking 5 goals. Singleton's try come from Brad Solomon, and Reeves kicked the goal. In the reserve grade, Scone's first ever win in reserve grade premiership in 41 years. Danny Watkins scored a try for Scone. Also a try scored by Parity. Mason kicking 3 goals to bring up Scone's 12 points. And Singleton's points coming from a try by Cole Lantry. So a win by 12 points to 3 for Scone in the reserve grade. Well, I've got Jim Sharp back with me now. Jim, what was your impressions of that grand final?
A very good grand final, Brian. It was an exciting finish, and Scone thoroughly deserved their victory. I thought on the day, they were the better side last round. I thought they had their game put together better in defence and attack than what Quirindi did. Quirindi had a giant possession of that ball in the second half, and they should have done more with it. If they'd only settled down and played percentage football, I thought they would have been convincing winners, but they didn't. Scone didn't panic at all, and they put on the defences. They kept their cool, and they played very good team football. The defence was very good, and I was quite impressed with a few of their players.
Yes, could you name any of them, Jim? Were there any of them in your memory that you could name? Any of the Scone players that stood out today?
Yes, I thought Firefield, the front row forward, did a tremendous amount of work. He's a strong boy, he's a powerful runner. He knows only one thing to do, and that's run straight. His defence was quite good. Harrison in the centre, I thought, had a very good game. He's a source of annoyance to the Quirindi backline altogether, and then that last run by young Reed that brought the ball back from behind his own goal line factory to set up that last try was a pretty good effort also.
Have you ever seen such an exciting finish to a game, Jim? A grand final?
I don't think so, Brian. It's tremendous. I mean, in the last few seconds of the game, to come out winning by 5 points, and it looks like the game going into extra time. I thought if the game had gone into extra time, Scone probably would have willed it, because they did a tremendous amount of defensive work in that second half, and I don't think they could have stood up for another 20 minutes of football.
Well, they were starting to look a bit tired, and they rallied in the last few minutes to hold Quirindi back. It was a big performance from them.
I think a lot of credit must go to their captain out there. He held his side together well, he led them well, and at no time did he seem to panic whatsoever, particularly in that second half when Quirindi started to put on the pressure.
Thank you very much, Jim Sharp, for coming along today, and I hope you've enjoyed your stay at Brisbane.
It is a pleasure to be here, and I thoroughly enjoyed the day, and let us hope that 1977 is a better year than what this one, if it could be possible.
Gordon, we might take time to take a message while if I can see if I can try and get 1 or 2 coaches or players over to the microphone.
It's a big day at Karindai today. We all know about the grand final. But did you know that the Karindai Spring Show is on too? At the show, you can see on display the EL Down stand, featuring a range of furniture and outdoor settings that will really take your breath away. There's attractions like the Roberta 3-piece lounge suite covered in gold tapestry, spick and span modular barbecues in black or white cast concrete blocks, also a trendy all-metal colonial-style barbecue with white wrought iron lace trim, plus many great outdoor settings. When visiting the football, go and have a look at the EL Downs furniture at the Karindai Spring Show.
AML Net Company in Scone is conducting an auction on Saturday the 25th of September, commencing at 10 a.m. at 152 Susan Street, Scone. On offer will be an old-style 4-bedroom dwelling, which would make an ideal family home or suit the renovator. Also, AML and F of Scone have an ideal small property for the guy just starting out on the land. 5 hectares, or if you haven't converted yet, it's 12 acres and close to Scone. It has sealed road frontage, town water, a small cottage, stables and yard. In fact, everything's ready to go, just $30,000, and terms can be arranged. If you'd like to inspect either of these properties, contact David Sanders at the AML and F Scone on 451633.
Well, we're back at Quirindi Sports Ground. There's no way I can get through that pack to get onto Donny Adams, or one of them, maybe Mike Pritchard can find him for me now. But anyway, there's another fellow who's very pleased here, Ron Corney. Ron, what a tremendous performance, eh?
Yes, really pleased, Brian, particularly in that second half. We won 1 scrum and the penalties went 8-1 against us, yet at no stage did the boys throw it in. They just kept fighting back.
Ron, you couldn't have a better finish to a grand final. I guess you would have liked to have it wrapped up earlier, but did you think you were gone?
I'll be honest, Brian, yes. We just couldn't get enough ball, but as I said, they never give up fighting, and she was a real heart stopper. I wish it had been a lot of points, but as it is now, it made a better grand final of it.
Ron, 4 minutes from the end, I reckon Scone were gone. You could see them, they looked a bit tired, and they rallied. They come back with the hope of winning. Now, if they'd have given it away, they were gone then. Only that they kept going that they got that try.
That's for sure, Brian. Definitely right. They scored it though from try line to try line. It was you can say an unexpected try against a runner play. Karindai attempted a field goal and missed out, and from there on, Scone scored a try.
Ron, I didn't hear the first time I heard it. It was impossible to hear it. When did it ring?
It rang after the try was scored. As a matter of fact, Greg Jones came to the sideline and said Peter Ilfield was injured and they'd have to send on a replacement. And before he got back out to where the kick was being taken, the full-time hooter went.
Right, thank you, Ron Corney. And right now, it's a very big congratulations to the Scone coach, Don Adams. Congratulations, Don. Thanks very much, Brian. Don, I was just talking to Ron Corney, and I reckon 5 minutes from the end you looked to be beaten, and then the fellas came back, they looked to be getting tired, and they battled, they came back and started moving up in defence again, and that's enabled them to win this grand final. Would you agree? I agree with that, Brian. I reckon I just feel proud of those boys. I reckon they were fit. They tackled the scrums are 7-1 in the second half, and the penalties are 8-1 against them. And to keep the defence up like that, you must feel a bit tired 5 minutes ago, and I just felt it was terrific effort from our boys. Well, I don't think anyone's going to say that they didn't deserve their win, Don. If they had given it away as well, they might have, because they had a lot of hard work in that second half. They were gone. I think it was a terrific grand final, Brian. I felt that the atmosphere up here today was terrific. It was just like a real grand final. What do you feel? Don, I think that's the best grand final I've ever witnessed, either on the field or off. Yes, I think it was terrific. It was a grand final right from the word go. Even all of them were good grand finals, I thought. Don, how high did you jump when Cole Mills looked as though he had Richie Allen done down that wing? Oh, it was a great feeling, Brian. I knew it was about a minute or so to go, and to see Cole make the break down there, I thought it was nothing. It's the best feeling I've had for years. And a very underrated winger as far as his play and his speed goes, Don. Yes, Cole's improved all this year. He'll make a fine winger, I think. A bit more experience in that. Cole hasn't been in first grade much only this season, but he's come along well. He put a good game together for the other 79 minutes too. I felt he played a full year. I felt the whole side, and I'm very proud of them. The way they played, there's the defence what I liked was terrific, I thought. Well done. Congratulations again. It's been a great day for Scone, and best of luck with your celebrations tonight. Thanks very much, Brian. And tomorrow, I would imagine. Well, anyway, we mightn't get many phones on in Scone tomorrow with Don on the PMG, but we'll see how we turn out. Mike, I've given a rundown of all scores of the tries except for the first grade, and perhaps you might be able to give them to us.